This week in politics, a couple of big things happened. Vice President Pence broke a tie 51-50 to nominate Betsy Devos as the United States Secretary of Education. Not long after, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren was ejected from the Senate floor by Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell for violating the 19th rule of the United States Senate. Rule 19 says that senators may not, quote, directly or indirectly by any form of words, impute to another senator or to other senators any conduct or motive unworthy for or unbecoming of a senator. Did Elizabeth Warren deserve to be silenced while on the Senate floor? All this and much, much more on today's episode.
I'm Hunter.
I'm Darian, and this is the Hunter and Darian Show. So, on today's agenda, first thing we want to talk about was Elizabeth Warren being silenced on the Senate floor. So, as many of you may know, Jeff Sessions was just nominated for Attorney General, and his nomination, he actually did just become nominated. Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren was talking about this, and while she was at the Senate hearing, she began to read a letter by, do you know her name?
Which of
Martin
Luther King Jr.'s wife, yeah. I could look that up real quick right here, but...
And basically she was reading a letter by her that was talking badly about Attorney General Jeff Sessions, and Mitch McConnell enforced Rule 19, which, as we mentioned before, basically says that, a senator cannot, impute to other senators about any conduct or motive unworthy of unbecoming of a senator. So,
and the reason that was that rule was established was back, I believe, in the 1800s sometime, and it was basically just to keep the Senate floor tame, so no violence occurred on the floor, and everybody it was just basically so you could
a fist fight.
So you couldn't criticize people directly on the floor and basically hurt feelings. And the name of Martin Luther King Jr.'s wife is Coretta Scott King.
Thank you for that.
And she died in they were married from 1953 to 1968.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
My personal opinion, I think he shouldn't have silenced her. I think it wasn't a smart idea. Whether she was, breaking that rule or not, it's just, let her talk. People can come up, make their own conclusions themselves. People can defend what she's saying if it's wrong. And it's just, honestly, it's given her a lot of fuel now. She has that fuel that she can just use against the Republicans as much as she wants and saying how they silenced her. So that's really bad, especially when, you have this tendency, a lot of people on the right, people in general, but also people on the right, are accusing the left of repressing free speech. Well, Warren can use exactly this to counter that.
Yeah, exactly. But what he did was completely that rule completely justified what he did. So it's not like that she can bring up anything like, oh well, he that's totally against that's totally against my freedom of speech or anything, because Rule 19 is completely justified what he did. But I do agree with Darian that I would have rather seen him not do something like that, because now that just brings up more controversy on the free speech argument between the two parties.
And another fun fact, Warren, one of Senator Elizabeth Warren's main concerns about Jeff Sessions is that she accused him of being racist based on multiple allegations. Fun fact, though, one of the longest serving Democratic members of the Senate, actually the longest serving ever, Robert Byrd. He was one of the most highly revered senators in Congress. I have a quote over here by former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton about him. She said, after Robert Byrd passed away, she said, quote, "Today our country lost a true American original. My friend and mentor, Robert C. Byrd," end quote. I find that very interesting. It really shows the hypocrisy of.
First of all, Robert Byrd is a former KKK member.
Yeah,
Robert Byrd is a Democrat, the Party for the Minority.
Exactly.
He was a KKK member until 1944, I believe.
Yeah. So in 1942, he actually recruited 150 people to a new chapter of the Ku Klux Klan in Sophia, West Virginia, and was also elected a top official of a local Klan unit. And here I just want to read a quote. This is from a letter from Robert Byrd to Senator Theodore G. Bilbo in 1944. And keep in mind, Robert Byrd was 27 years old at the time, so he definitely wasn't young. I'll read the letter right now. Quote, "I shall never fight in the armed forces with a Negro by my side. Rather, I should die 1,000 times and see Old Glory trampled in dirt, never to rise again, than to see this beloved land of ours become degraded by race mongrels, a throwback to the blackest specimen from the wilds," end quote. So, I could tell, those are very racially prejudiced views. Obviously, I mean, he was saying that, does Old Glory refer to the American flag?
Old Glory. I think that basically means Old Glory, like the greatness of our country trampled to fighting with.
So he's basically saying he'd rather see the greatness of the United States of America be trampled into the dirt than fight side by side with a black person in the military. Doesn't sound like patriotism to me.
Yeah, it doesn't really sound very tolerant either.
Yeah, not at all. So that was interesting. Hillary Clinton, there's actually a picture of them kissing each other, Robert Byrd and Hillary Clinton. So, one of their biggest role models, yet, they get so upset over these alleged racism of Attorney General Jeff Sessions. But look at this person who they approved. Doesn't make much sense.
And the allegations of Jeff Sessions being a racist are really not truly backed up. They have brought up many allegations that really just have no solid backbone, and it's a little ridiculous in my eyes to see that. And I'd rather them bring up, if there is, and I believe that there absolutely could be real back evidence that has real solid backbone to it there, but I haven't seen any. So I seriously think Jeff Sessions is, I don't know if there's a better person for the job, but as for what I've seen from him, he seems like he'll do just fine. But of course, we'll see what happens in the future.
Let's hope so, yeah. Other news, Betsy DeVos was just confirmed as Secretary of Education in a 51-50 vote broken by Vice President Pence.
And we were talking about that with a majority Republican Senate, that was the first time that the Vice President has had to break a vote based on when he was the party of the majority.
Yeah, one of his own nominees.
Yeah, one of his own nominees, exactly.
So that was interesting. Definitely a lot of controversy surrounding that. And that's about it for today's news. On to anything and everything. So Hunter, I know you watched the Grammys last night.
Yeah, the Grammys. So that was interesting. I'll tell you what. One of the things that popped out to me was Adele did this beautiful tribute to George Michael, because George Michael just passed away this last year. But what was crazy about it is when she started, it sounded pretty good right at first, but then what happened is she seemed to be get off beat, and you could kind of tell the music in the background wasn't going exactly to the beat she was singing, and I was me and my roommate were kind of looking back at each other what's going on? And then Adele cursed on live TV and said, "Okay, sorry, we're gonna have to start over."
I know it's live TV. I'm sorry. I can't do it again like last year. I'm sorry for swearing, and I'm sorry for starting again. Can we please start it again? I'm sorry, I can't mess this up for him. I'm sorry.
And I was like, oh my gosh. So she stopped the whole thing, and everybody started clapping, because that is really tough, I'm sure, performing for that many thousands of people and messing up like that. And then she just said, you know what, we'll start over. So they started over, and then she did an absolutely beautiful job of that tribute that she did to George Michael.
That's really funny, because I didn't watch the Grammys last night. Wasn't particularly interested, but I was just as a joke, I was just talking to some friends and some group chat we had. And I have a friend who really likes Adele, and I was just kind of messing with him, and I basically said, Adele's really not that great of a musician, and I didn't really have much of an opinion on Adele anyways. I was just joking around with him, and I said that her music's bubblegum music and that you chew it and spit it out. I was totally kidding, by the way, but he got pretty upset, but we're obviously cool, I was just kidding around. But I find that funny. I wonder if you saw Adele's bad performance
and she won
before that, and then was angry about that. I'm not sure. Oh, she did win, you said?
She won a ton. I think she won the most Grammys in the night.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
She was up there tons of times, and she was stumbling over words, but obviously, she's up there. I'm sure she's really emotional with all this winning, Trump is right when he was saying that you're going to get tired of winning, at least in Adele's case, because I think she might have gotten tired. She even, at the end on her last speech, she was saying that she thought Beyonce should have won that last award she got, and I remember thinking is she gonna go hand it to Beyonce right now? But she didn't, thank God. That would have been kind of awkward. But yeah, so Adele's definitely winning a lot right now, and I'm not a huge Adele fan, just like Darian is, and I'm more of a classic rock kind of guy. I don't really listen to much current music, but she definitely has a beautiful voice, and there's really no disputing that. Even if you've ever heard her live, she's very, very talented.
Yep, and lastly, we wanted to go to the dank meme of the week, as always. Sorry, dank meme of the show. So over here it says, "Me, I promise I won't get all political. 3 drinks later, Dollar elected as mayor. So yeah, I mean, you know, I thought that was pretty funny. Kind of makes me think of the 2016 election, because I don't know, God knows what happened to get, you know, the level of dissatisfaction in the American people with the. You know what? You know what I find ironic? You know, our two major candidates from the Republican and Democratic parties this 2016 election, you know, they were the most disliked ever by the American people. It's like, why were they nominated? Why did enough people vote them up there? I don't get that. I find that to be kind of a paradox.
Yeah, and I know many people that would honestly rather see this beautiful dog be president over
Indeed.
Donald Trump.
I
Not
would
me,
as well.
but I definitely know some people.
I would as well over any of the any of these major politicians. Yeah, and you know, that about concludes our show. Thank you guys for tuning in.
I hope you guys have a great Valentine's Day.
Yep. Thank you all, and God bless America.